Hey guys, welcome back to Tigra Gitana. My name is Abby, and today we're going to be talking quite a bit about Uranus. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the Uranus and Capricorn generation, because I know I did a Pluto and Scorpio generation, and Uranus is about to have a transit into Taurus. Uranus usually lasts in a sign for about 7 years, and so I wanted to talk about the Uranus in Capricorn generation because basically people born between 1988 and 1996 have Uranus in Capricorn. It is another generational planet, same as Pluto. So it takes longer to move, so it has a longer, it's more long-term effects that you'll see things kind of manifest over the course of a long period of time. With Uranus though, we're also going to talk about him later, but with Uranus, he's like a really fun planet because he is all about innovation. He is really a futuristic. He's like the upgrade, like those updates that you get from your computer and your phone that you need to update to. Like he's that's Uranus. Like, okay, update your life. You've been doing this the same too long. Update. He does things very quickly, very random, very like out of the blue. Update. Like you need this download or whatever. And the reason why it's important to talk about the Uranus and Capricorn generation is because Capricorn is the most traditional sign out of all of the fucking zodiac. Sorry for the cursing. But it is true. We're very traditional. I'm a Capricorn. I have a Capricorn stellium, so I can speak on this. We are very traditional, but I do have a good amount of Aquarius placements. So I tend to also am able to see the where I need to upgrade and the times that I need to do it. So with the Uranus and Capricorn generation, it really is kind of a huge contradiction in many ways because, again, Capricorn's very traditional, that Saturn energy, that like grounding, okay, get your foundations good so then you can progress. But Uranus is like, no, you're still riding you're still driving a car on the road. Like you should be flying cars. Like he just wants things to be a little bit different. So with the Uranus and Capricorn generation, also take note that this is not the only energy that you're playing with your chart, because this is something that, again, like the people born between 1988 to 1996 will have. So we all, like whoever is born within this time, we have this energy in our chart as well as far as longer term things. So same with Pluto and Scorpio. So you also have to look at those two energies, because it's not just going to be like, oh my god, I have Uranus and Capricorn, I'm going to always be in this conflict of, oh my god, should I kind of change what the status quo is and what like, should I change the system, or should I just, you know, I can fix this through the system, I can update this through the system, like how do I make this kind of like, where's the middle ground when you have like traditional versus innovation and futuristic? You're also gonna be, your Pluto and Scorpio is also gonna take place and also going to alleviate that energy. And it's important to take note of that. You can't just look at one placement and let it destroy or like change your mentality about life. Your energy is going to also, because Pluto again is another generational planet, is also going to have a huge impact on your energy, period. So if you have Uranus and Capricorn and you kind of have a harder time like following or like just like you're really coming to terms with the fact that things aren't working the same, but they do need to change, you see where they need to change, but you also like but those things get alleviated by Pluto and Scorpio, because Pluto and Scorpio, again, very transformative, very about change, very about that. You have that energy already. So even though it is conflicting in many ways to have this Uranus placement in Capricorn, there's other placements that alleviate the transformation of that thing. So whatever it is in a society, like as far as society goes, because generational planets, we set the foundation for the next generation as well, because I mean the next generation gets born in the next sign anyway, but we do set the foundation of what they end up building on, what the resources is that they have, how we've passed down the world to them, essentially. So with Uranus and Capricorn, even though there is a conflict of traditional groundedness all of these like rooted back down to the earth things. And you have Uranus, which is the lord of the sky, the god of the sky, and it's all about mind, like higher body, higher understanding, moving, like all of these things. Like the earth still needs the sky, you still need the oxygen, or else the trees won't grow. Like you need to understand the relationship between the two. You need to have both. There needs to be a foundation, and there also needs to, the air still needs to circulate, you know what I mean? So there is that balance of both. If you are struggling with your kind of place in the world, as far as thinking either the whole world's going to shit, or like how do I even affect this change, how do I do this, you really need to tap into that Pluto and Scorpio kind of just energy of it, of the transformation. And Capricorn period, even though we are very traditional, we are still a cardinal sign. And this is why I did the cardinal videos, so we can all understand what cardinal energy is. Because ultimately, let's say if it was Uranus and Taurus, or Uranus and like that's a little bit more fixed, so that's a little bit more stubborn. I actually think that Tauruses are actually more stubborn than Capricorns. The reason being is because, again, Capricorns have that cardinal energy, and we are, in our nature, even though we are earth, we move, we plan, but we move. We ultimately have to move, because we see no there is no mountain if we don't, like, it doesn't exist if we don't like have something to climb. Like, we need to climb something. The mountains have to be there. Like, that's pretty much the thing. Like, Taurus would look at the mountain, like the bull will just, they're not climbing that mountain. Like, goats would be like, okay, goals, you know? So you still have that cardinal energy. So even though Uranus is in Capricorn, that cardinal energy will still come out, and there will be change. It just won't be in the exact way as if Uranus were in Aries or something like that. Because we just had Uranus in Aries. This is actually the last day of Uranus being in Aries, and it's gonna go into Taurus. So fun stuff. But Uranus in Aries is way more aggressive, way quicker. So like Uranus can tap into that the speed of the warrior sign Aries, and tap into that combat mode of them. So it's a little bit different than having like a more grounded earthy sign. So it's more like we've kind of grown up in a certain way. As far as Uranus and Capricorn generation, we've grown up a certain way. We've seen like our parents kind of we've seen some of the traditions. Some people haven't. Can't speak for everyone, obviously, but we've seen how things have been done, and now it's that whole, like, there's stuff that you can even question, say like, this is kind of not right, this should be done differently. And Capricorns are really good at doing that. Like, don't get it wrong. Just because Capricorn's traditional doesn't mean that we are not like fucking bosses. Like, yes, we can see how things can be done, should be done in a certain way, but we also can see where things need to change as well. Because the thing that people need to remember about Saturn energy, and we are going to talk about that in the Saturn video, is that Saturn wants you to learn your lessons. In order for you to learn your lessons, you need to change. So it's really not about staying fixed. Saturn does not rule Taurus. Venus rules Taurus. Venus would love to stay in an abundant land of like chocolate and like love and kisses. That's great. And like just have that. That's perfectly fine. Saturn, that's not what Saturn is here to do. Saturn is here to really teach you those major life lessons. And those occur throughout this time, but like that's why Capricorn energy is still cardinal. He still wants to see movement. If earth energy, like if that Capricorn energy wanted to stay fixed and Saturn did not care, then you would be a fixed sign. Like Capricorns would be fixed, but that's not what it is. It's movement. So even if it's in Uranus, the movement, I feel like Saturn is a lot slower because he wants you to think about it's really it's in a way mental. He wants you to think about your plan, what it is, how is it gonna fold over. But Uranus is like, this is not really working, let's change it like right now. But Capricorn is gonna resist a little bit, so there will be resistance, but change will still occur because you're dealing with cardinal energy. So don't like get kind of in the mud about having Uranus and Capricorn. A lot of the transits are happening right now. I feel like Capricorns like are really getting like kind of really called out right now as far as doing the work, because we have so many Capricorn earth transits, and when Capricorn is in a chart, even if like let's say it's Taurus sun and Taurus moon or whatever, it still lights up those other earth elements, and it like the earth works together, what areas you need to move while this other transit is happening. So it's really interesting, the relationship of how it works. There's a lot of movement going on, but there's also a lot of planning. And also for my other Pluto and Scorpio generation and Uranus and Capricorn generation. A lot of Capricorn energy is coming into the chart right now because we are going through like our 30s, pretty much about heading into our 30s. I'm 28 right now, so we're heading into that realm of the next 10 years. So planning for the next 10 years, our stability for the next 10 years, what things are going to look like, how we're going to grow, are we going to have kids? Like all of these things are coming into place in the chart in a very smart way. So we have a lot of Capricorn energy this year overall, playing a huge factor. Like Scorpio and Capricorn have been freaking on it, doing the thing. Like Jupiter is really destroying a lot of things, but again, it's really making it easy for like the Pluto and Scorpio generation to be able to see the truth, because that's really it. We're going to be able to see through BS like nobody's business. We could see it, like it's very obvious, like what needs to change, and that's kind of how this transit's gonna go. Now I'm gonna make a video about Uranus moving into Taurus, so keep a lookout for that. That's gonna be fun. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will talk to you guys very soon. All my links and stuff are gonna be like down below. And yeah, if you guys want to follow me, feel free to subscribe.